Deta for the ball.
Into the last 16 then at the first of 3 events here on Sunday at the Women's Series. And it is
Outside.
the big names, the familiar faces that are making progress again. We've just seen Fallon Sherrock win 4-0 against Corinne Hammond in her second round match. Well, Fallon is 3-0 up already in her last 16 tie. Lisa Ashton 2-0 up in hers as well. And Deta Hedman, the lady in 3rd place on the order of merit, is in action here on the stream, taking on Kirsty Hutchinson, who we saw yesterday reach the quarter-finals of the first event. She's looking to repeat the trick. Deta Hedman, well, she went quarters, semis, final, so if she carries on that curve, Colin, she's going to win this event.
60.
Good observation, Murph. Good observation. I like it. I like the way you're thinking. Yeah, she had a cracking game in that final with
100.
Fallon yesterday in our 3rd and final series of events yesterday. Yeah, it was a good performance. So if she's carried any of that form over into today, she could be a force to be reckoned with. But she's got a tough game here in young Kirsty Hutchinson. Good solid start, a couple of tons. And do you know what, Murph?
28.
I think it's fair to say that in darts in general, names and reputations don't really mean anything anymore, do they?
Yeah, absolutely.
60.
Hedman averaged, you were alluding to, 91.61 in that final. It was still 6.5 points less than Fallon Sherrock who won, but there was a dart that was right on the wire of double 16 before Sherrock went out on double 10 with the last dart in hand towards the end of that match, and had that gone in, it could have been Hedman that had taken the final title of yesterday, and it could have been a slightly different story, a different picture on the order of merit. But that Grand Slam spot right now is Fallon's to lose. Hedman, Ashton and other players trying to topple her from the top.
$60.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough thing to do. Fallon looked really good earlier against Corinne Hammond. And if she keeps that Rich Boehner form,
100.
Just hypothetically, Murph, if Fallon did go on to win this first one, I think that's more or less her nailed on, to be fair. That's not being disrespectful to all the ladies out there. They're all very, very capable players. But then you've got to hope that Fallon has
38.
really bad runs in the next 2. And I just can't see that happening. Anyway, back to the match.
Hutchinson making the early running. Doesn't matter that she missed a big number with her first start
16.
because Hedman is a long way back. She will return with 3 at tops. We've had a good start to the action here on the stream. Katie Sheldon beating Josie Patterson. Anastasia Dobromyslova going down in the opener to Rhiannon O'Sullivan as Hedman produces a sublime setup shot to put the pressure on Hutchinson. Is she feeling that pressure?
Game shot.
No, she manages just to bat it away and take the first leg. Yeah, Anastasia, apologies, forgot to mention during that match that she's actually celebrating her birthday today.
Oh, really? Happy birthday, Anastasia. Although I don't think I'll be going up to say that to her at this moment in time.
Maybe after the next tournament. While we're on the subject of wishing happy birthday to our viewers, or just people in darts really. Terry Jenkins and Madas Razmar also celebrating birthdays today.
Well, happy birthday
85.
to those two guys. Two gentlemen and 2 very, very good dart players. It was, anybody listening, if anyone cares, it was my birthday back in August, but we don't need to talk about that.
Well, happy belated birthday, Colin. 21 60. Again.
Cool. And some. And some.
Well, Hutchinson, as you said, won't be an easy opponent for Deta Hedman.
60.
And it's proving to be the case. Defied that 177 setup shot in the opening leg. To hold on to her own throw. We did see her, as I mentioned yesterday, Kirsty Hutchinson, when she
60.
had a run in the first event to the quarterfinals. Well, she lost to Anastasia. And if you look at who she lost to yesterday,
100.
then it just gives you a suggestion of what level she's at, because the three players that beat her were Anastasia Dobromyslova, Lisa Ashton and Deta Hedman, who she met in her second round match yesterday and went down 4-0. So out for a little bit of revenge.
100.
Deta's throwing really well here, to be fair, Murph, and for very little reward. 60-60 ton, but peppering that treble 20 wire. Sometimes you can get a little bit frustrated with that. You think to yourself, I just want to get that 60 first dart, which she has done.
It's something that always fascinates me
81.
when I talk to darts players. Actually, good darts that don't go in can do more damage mentally than bad darts, can't they?
85.
Yeah. But that's why we love it. That's
Yeah.
why we play.
You see, if everything's on the wire, you think that some sort of deity is working against you somehow. If you're nowhere near,
78.
you know it's your fault and you can correct it.
Well, this would be a good shot.
72.
72 left.
Think about double-double? Well, she's got 36 with a smaller target. Now she wants 36 with the
93.
bigger.
Push the wire. Push the wire. Will she come back for another shot? Deta Hedman here sitting on 62. Big 20 now, I'd say, for double 16. No, she's gone 12 tops route. Tops them for 1-all. Ooh, just dragged that one
42.
a bit low. So Hutchinson does come back.
Yeah, good just seeing the camera angle there. The dart was flat as it entered the board, wasn't it? Not enough loop on it.
Game shot.
And Hutchinson has opened up a two-leg lead here against Deta Hedman. We were just talking off air. We keep looking through the results and saying any shocks yet, and we haven't really seen any so far today, but this would certainly fit into that category.
Yes, it certainly would. Just going back, Murph, to where you were saying,
42.
or where we were saying the frustrations of darts being on the wire and all that sort of thing. I know full well that Deta at one time used to practice on a board. It's called a Champion's Choice board. And the trebles and the doubles are just that little bit skinnier. And
81.
myself personally, I used to hate that board. I had one myself at one time that I practiced on, and it stayed up for about half an hour, and it never went up again. But Deta swore by it. She loved that board, and perhaps that's why she's been the player that she has been. She says if you're hitting the trebles on the Champion Choice board, when you come back to this board, the trebles look huge.
104.
I couldn't see it myself, but
Well, she said if you're hitting them, Colin, that's why.
well, yeah, that might have had something to do with it. I used to get frustrated as a player, and that was frustrating me even more for half an hour, so it got taken down and never to be put up again. That's not to say someone practicing out there maybe shouldn't get one. It make you focus a bit more.
Yeah, whatever works for you. And whatever you did work, Colin.
85.
We have a joke, but former world #1, former world match play champion, former world Grand Prix champion. Of course, the field for this year's Grand Prix will be decided at the end of
85.
today. Not from this event, but from the one in Gibraltar. Joe Cullen and Nathan Aspinall are going to kick off that event in around half an hour's time. Have the choice to watch either stream, or maybe even do the multi-screen thing that I know a lot of avid
43.
darts fans do these days. Lots of places up for grabs, isn't there? One at the Grand Slam here today. There are spots at the European
100.
Championships and the Grand Prix up for grabs in Gibraltar. And of course, a couple of players are going to put themselves in very strong positions to reach a World Championship at the Women's Series.
There's always something to play for, Murph.
60.
Always something to play for. That's That's the great thing about the PDC. If you're good enough, there's an opportunity somewhere.
Kirsty Hutchinson really is making the most of her opportunities here. Just maybe felt the tension with that last dart. But Hedman may well have to take this out, or she could be heading out. Excellent dart to earn herself 2. Hutchinson closed her eyes. She thinks she knows what's coming. She can't look.
Game shot.
And that's why, because Deta Hedman completes a skin-saving 92 checkout, not only to half the deficit, but to break the throw as well.
Yeah, that would have been a big blow there for Kirsty. Knowing full well that she'd had a dart at tops.
95.
And like you said, Murph, closed her eyes when she saw that treble 20 go plumb into the middle, giving Deta the 2 darts that she did need to take
45.
out the 32 that was left.
3 players through to the quarterfinals. Fallon Sherrock leading the way. She's beaten Robin Byrne 4-0. Rhiannon O'Sullivan, the Welshwoman who we saw come from behind in the opening match, is 4-1 up against
41.
Ros Bulmer. Rhiannon beating Anastasia Dobromyslova in her first match today. And a fellow Welshwoman in Tracy Davis
60.
also through to the last 8. A 4-1 win for her against Vicky Proom.
$45.
I've seen a couple of occasions today where the top players have been trailing by a
45.
couple of legs and then have turned it around. Lisa Ashton did it against Lorraine Winstanley in the previous round. 2-0 down and went on to win 4-2. And you can just see the frustration spilling over a bit for Kirsty Hutchinson here. Does she already feel like she's missed her chance?
55.
Yeah, quite possibly, even if she's feeling it, Murph. And I'm one to talk on this. You shouldn't try and show your emotions to your opponent
40.
because as you're sort of like beating yourself up, your opponent's thinking to themselves, oh, okay, let's just try and apply a little bit more pressure here. Let's make you just a little bit more frustrated, because then you start trying too hard, your arm tightens up, and all of a sudden where you were hitting those treble 20s with consummate ease, all of a sudden
41.
you start missing, and then you get even more frustrated.
Yeah, almost like you're pouring out of your cup of confidence straight into theirs.
81.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Well, Hutchinson has to just try and reset and think, look, I'm still ahead, still in this leg. But if she does manage to break here, then she's throwing for the match. What would be a huge win for her.
85.
Potentially very damaging one for Deta Hedman and her aspirations of finishing in one of those top 2 places at the end of 12 events, or the top 1
100.
at the end of 6.
Hedman's got a trickier finish here compared to Kirsty Hutchinson's, but that's a great first dart. Went for the 42. I thought she might have gone for the ball
91.
there, because she could have had the single dart had she not hit the ball. To go for the 17 to have 3 darts at a double.
44.
Second dart was not far away from Hutchinson. Would have earned her a dart at the bullseye herself to win the leg, but it is just the 2 darts at double for Deta Hedman.
Game shot.
She only needed 1, and all of a sudden Kirsty Hutchinson's 2-leg lead has disappeared. Hedman ties it up. Parity after 4.
This is where Murph,
100.
all those years of experience of not panicking when you're going 2-0 down. Deta's drawn on all of that experience. And now we're level pegging again. But she'll also know that at some point she needs to make a move
41.
in the fact that she needs to attack Kirsty's throw, because Kirsty will be thinking to herself, as long as I hold my throw,
82.
I will get through this match.
Well, just looking through the stats from yesterday, and Deta Hedman probably the most consistent player in the scoring stages of this women's series.
30.
She had more scores of between 100 and 139 than any other player, although Fallon Sherrick had more 140s and more 180s than anyone else. So those visits of 100 just come so frequently for Hedman. Be nice if she hit one now, wouldn't it, just to prove the point. Oh yeah, cheers Deta, thanks for that. Actually, a very sloppy
78.
leg from her. That's the first dart in which she's found a big treble, and Hutchinson's been allowed to pull away in this leg and really regain control of this match.
136.
Yeah, fair play to Kirsty. She was really put on the back foot by Deta. But she's gone ton 82, 135, 136 to leave herself a 48 checkout after 12 darts. And after losing those last two legs, Murph, she's
28.
really dug in now. She'd like to clean this up with 2 darts, just to think to herself, right, move on to the next.
We saw Hedman take out this finish.
Game shot.
And Hutchinson replies in kind and hits the front again. Done well there. It's almost like once she stopped thinking about the leg that got away and relaxed again and became the underdog again, she started playing a better darts again, but it was an off leg by Hedman standards.
140.
Yeah, it was a good solid leg that from Kirsty Hutchinson.
140.
She showed some frustration in the middle of this match. That looks like she's refocused, regrouped. Gone off for a nice little ton 40 to try and hopefully win this leg and ultimately win the match.
100.
That meeting yesterday between the pair was only the second on record. The other was
100.
the quarterfinals at last year's Dutch Open, which Hedman won 4-2. The event eventually won by a player not here this weekend, Aileen de Graaf. One of the few finalists
81.
at the PDC Women's Series.
$100.
Rhiannon O'Sullivan, reaching a final yesterday, became the 6th different woman to play in a final, but it's largely been Hedman, Sherrick, Ashton. A couple now for Corinne Hammond as well.
60.
If Kirsty can hit a big shot here, Murph, she'll give herself every opportunity if Deta
41.
doesn't take out the 120. Bit of a bad deflection there. Only 41 scored, so she's now on 120, but Deta gets first bite at it. It's a good marker. Ooh, unlucky deflection there. Should go 15s here,
Yeah,
really.
85.
85 left. 15s or 19s.
50.
Well, she's got a chance here now, Murph. It's a big chance.
There'll be some way to win, but she's on her way. Is that in the way?
100.
Just clattered into it on the way through, but still will feel she might have an opportunity. She does not want to see Deta Hedman find a treble with this dart. Treble 18 the target. 20 or 12. 12 it is for double top to stay in it.
Game shot.
Oh, and there it is. She pierces the double. And she must have pierced the confidence of Kirsty Hutchinson there as well, who would have hoped to have come back with match darts in hand. Can she keep it together and hold her throw in this deciding leg?
I can tell you, Murph, from experience, that would have hurt.
Whatever the combination is, whether it's 3 darts at the same double or whether it's 1 at the end of a combo, the double going in with the last dart in hand always hurts that little bit more, doesn't it?
47.
It most certainly does. And you know, Kirsty, you know, if Deta does go on to win this match, I think Kirsty will be thinking to herself, a little bit hard done by here. She had the opportunity to go 3-0 up, but
140.
coulda, woulda, shoulda, as they say. She didn't, and Deta's now trying to punish that earlier on mistake.
100.
And she's doing it in quite a decent way. She's kicked off ton 40 here. All that vast experience, Deta has taken the throw now, and she'll be thinking to herself, if I can just hit 1 red bit in this combination, that'll really put me in control of this leg.
26.
Well, that is a little bit of optimism offered to her opponent, some encouragement for Hutchinson. But now she's
41.
spraying them around. It's become a tense tussle at the end of this last 16 match. And there's plenty on the line, isn't there? Because it could really help Kirsty climb the order of merit and perhaps put herself in contention for bigger dreams. But it could also, as I mentioned earlier, do a lot of damage to Deta Hedman's chances. That 140 will really settle her down.
85.
A slip there from Kirsty. She's hit a 5 with the last dart, and Deta will now know that she's got 6 darts to clean up this 95. Yeah, nice, just a nice little setup now. Staying
59.
up. I don't know, Murph. I don't like that shot. I'd have gone for this. You know, Tops has been her friend, and I don't think we've seen her go for a double 18. I know she likes double 18, but we haven't seen her go for it in this match. And Kirsty's hit a big 140 there to put pressure on this shot.
Couldn't be closer. The pressure piled on. Hedman opted for this double.
Game shot on the
And
match.
that's why she hits it in the end and breaks in a last leg decider. Breaks a throw and perhaps even the hearts of Hutchinson as Hedman heads through to reach the quarterfinals once again. Is Sunday going to be Deta's day?